I'm so brain rot pilled. Oh my god. Yeah. What's up, guys? Today we're talking about the drama written and directed by Kristoffer Borgli. Zendaya and Robert Pattinson play Emma and Charlie, two meet-cutes at the precipice of marriage interrupted by a thought crime game with friends, revealing a disturbing truth that has Charlie questioning everything. Before we go any further, I'm going to go ahead and drop a spoiler warning, so now's your time to pause this video, go watch the drama, then come back and let me tell you how to feel about it. Now, let's get married. The drama is crazy. I watched two of Borgli's short films, Softcore and Ear, in anticipation of his newest, which definitely helped prepare me for Borgli's tone. He's interacting with how deeply insecure human beings are in relationships and in their bodies, willing to sink his thumb into an open wound in order to elicit any response. That said, the drama, which I could argue has provocateur status, never moves into territory where it feels like it's purposefully spitting in your ear. There's a winking fun to it, and it's definitely one of the best movies to come out in 2026. Pitch black comedy where you will find yourself laughing when you feel like you shouldn't. So, the best kind of comedy. The movie has a strong zag about 25 to 30 minutes in, but it starts as a silly, quaint rom-com. Pattinson's Charlie tries to pretend he's read the book he spies Zendaya's Emma reading at a cafe, only to find out that when he was trying to hit on her, she's deaf in the ear he spoke to. Pattinson does show some tremendous physical acting here, just a comedic dope routine, and fumbles around until he returns and finally grabs Emma's attention. She asks, "Do you want to start over?" And from there, the movie whisks you off into their romantic fever dream of love. But the important thing to remember in this relationship, Charlie was being performative, eventually coming clean, but their love was originally founded on a lie. How poetic. But can you really get a fresh start with a lie? Once you get to the twist, this movie will either be your favorite thing, or it will make you deeply uncomfortable and you'll hate it. Honestly, it's all encompassing, but super refreshing. As someone who really resonated with Andrew DeYoung's Friendship last year, it was definitely a movie that people were not chill about. The comment section on that video alone showed me that there are a lot of people out there who do not want to do the work and look inward and admit they're little imperfect freaks and have probably done crazy, even bad things. The drama asks that the audience sit with the revelation that Emma plotted a school shooting, but never followed through on it in real time. It's a real seat squirmer. Emma's maid of honor, Rachel, played by Alana Haim, and her husband, Mike, who's also Charlie's best man, played by Mamoudou, navigate this revelation along with Charlie. Alana Haim puts in an almost overacted performance, playing a very particular kind of toxic friend that I very much remember putting in the rear view in my 20s. She's great in the role, and she has a future playing annoying characters if she wants to. Mamoudou is more subdued, playing a comforting peacekeeper role, and I found him especially compelling in the scenes he shared with Pattinson. As Charlie tries to make sense of this revelation, to see Emma as more than her past, it is hilarious and depraved to watch him work this out with Mike. A lot of what I think people will grapple with is that Borgli sells the idea of a black female positioned as a mentally unstable teen, strongly in opposition to the data of active shooters in the United States. This is where the provocateur status may play in for some people. I found this interesting, but you know, it's there. It's not lost on me too that Pattinson, who works as a museum director, finds an art book titled Brain Rot on his desk, filled with images of women holding guns, and yeah, they look kinda cool in those photos. Borgli isn't afraid to play with the kind of imagery that we all admit is aesthetically appealing while at the same time standing for something morally appalling. Where does that come from? How can we be turned on by something, someone, some act that objectively is engaging with imagery that is dangerous, powerful, and offensive? Wisely, Borgli leaves that to the audience to digest, giving the film an adventurous tone as I found myself excited to see how far it went into the depths of hell to expound on its mission statement. Unfortunately, the film peters out into the third act and doesn't really know how to find its footing into the ending. It's fine. The wedding sequence is masterful in some ways, and the Pattinson crash out is just beautiful to watch unfold. Hailey, who I really enjoyed in Charlie XCX, is the moment and is becoming my new Leo Points at Screen actor, shares some incredible scenes with Pattinson, and I just find her so compelling and charming. The payoff with their almost love affair is incredible. Watching Charlie completely deflate from scene to scene had me snickering the entire time. But it occurred to me that Zendaya, while crucial to the story, is somewhat sidelined. Don't get me wrong, she is great in the movie, and this is the first role I've ever really connected with her as an actor. She is more so placed in the movie for Pattinson to react to, and we aren't given much depth into her adult life. In fact, we spend more time with her childhood in Louisiana as we watch her pace around her parents' empty house, lonely, holding an AR-15 and listening to Skinny Pimp. There's an incredibly comedic scene where Charlie imagines himself holding that small, frightening to him child instead of the adult Zendaya, and those moments work because of that, but we still don't leave knowing much about Emma. And there's a version of the drama where maybe halfway through Charlie's crash out, we switch perspectives. But that's kind of the thing. Emma feels very alone. That female loneliness is palpable, and I'd argue Borgli knew that going in. The movie feels too smart to not be engaging with that. That her maid of honor is a person as insufferably egotistic as Rachel is telling, because what kind of person could have a connection like that with her? It almost feels like Emma was forced into Charlie's life and his friends as opposed to naturally connecting with them. And maybe she did, but the film isn't so concerned with expounding on that. More so, Borgli is using these characters to elicit a thought crime party game on what's the worst thing you've ever done and making it into a full-length feature. And yes, that's an interpolation on the 1984 concept. I'm down for that kind of movie and its exploration of how loved ones struggle to empathize a thought, not an action. The doom-com reimagining and genre play with the pre-established rom-com formula is inspired, but I felt that Borgli could have done more with exploring Emma. This is a new favorite performance for me from Pattinson. The guy is committed to doing a highly physical comedy act where just a subtle look or grimace as he holds Emma during a photo shoot had laughter shaking out of my body. Zoe Winters steals her scenes as the wedding photographer, proving once again after Succession and The Materialist that she is an absolute joy to see show up on screen. Charlie is just so dopey and woe was me throughout in such a compelling way, putting on a performance akin to Larry David in Curb Your Enthusiasm or Albert Brooks in Defending Your Life. The male victim, hapless and inert. Mickey 17 and really the last 15 years of his career have proven that Pattinson has the chops and the taste to make movies like this pop. His performance is crucial, matched by Zendaya's effervescent charm. Borgli is clearly having a ball using Pattinson as his chew toy to gleefully torture the audience. To close out, something about this movie feels deeply personal. Borgli is working through something messy in a movie that is quite good but also kinda falls apart a few too many times. Grappling with a loved one's past, it can really shatter who you thought you knew. As soon as Rachel posed the question, I immediately got a sinking feeling in my stomach because I've done some fucked up things in my life, but can you be a good person who does good things? Can you move on and change from that? It's a nuanced and challenging conversation that a lot of people may not be willing to sit through. If you allow the drama's strange and alluring thought experiment to work on you, you'll leave the theater with something truly captivating and kind of emotional to chew on. With a killer soundtrack to boot, Borgli, aided by his incredibly game cast, well-written script, and some creative editing and visual panache, isn't afraid to pose uncomfortable questions. A bold move in a time where we are consistently bombarded with propaganda keeping us from thinking for ourselves. Let a little drama into your life, live in the present, and embrace all the uncomfortable things that make us human. There's a beauty in that awkward release. What did you think of the drama? Did you enjoy its stomach-churning anxiety and dark humor, or was it just not for you at all? Leave all the comments below, and before you go, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more. Until next time, Emma and Charlie forever, and long live Curtis Reviews.